Mike Gallo, OKC Thunder. Chet, you guys had come in scoring 131 points your last 3 games. Tonight was like a defensive slugfest for both teams. What was it like playing in this one, and how did you guys stay focused and kind of keep yourselves in this game?
Yeah, just having an understanding that when you play 82 games, not every single game is going to be perfect on either end, and coming into a tough arena to play in, the crowd was in it. The other team was competing at a high level. They weren't going to make it easy for us, and it was really a 48-minute battle, and they were able to come out on top.
The shots just were not going down. What did you guys either talk about internally or just get to be able to kind of double down defensively the way that you did and make them have to earn everything?
Yeah, even if our shots were falling, there was going to be a big key on the defensive end to really key in on what they were doing and try to make it tough on them. And I feel like at times we did that tonight, and we just weren't able to get it going at a high clip on the offensive end.
Chet, it felt like the Sabonis and Herter DHO was pretty fruitful in that first quarter. I'm just curious what you saw there in terms of defensive execution.
Yeah, Herter was hitting some big shots. He got loose for some easier looks than we would like at times, and we're gonna have to get back in the film room and back on the court and practice and figure that out, make it tougher next time. I feel like as a collective we can do a better job with that one.
Chet, it's a little bit of a broken record, but they got 23 second chance points. Mark was just saying, like, if you guys don't attack that weakness, your opponents are going to. What did you see tonight? It seemed like they beat you guys to a couple. What did you see on the offensive glass?
Yeah, you can't always control how the ball bounces off the rim, but you can control, really keying in on the effort of hitting somebody on the glass. And I feel like me personally, I got to do a better job of that night in and night out. I feel like as somebody who's in the paint a lot on defense, that has to be something that I continue to get better at, and it's something that I'm gonna continue to key in on as well as the rest of the team. It takes 5 out there, but each person has to look at themselves. So that's what I'm doing, looking at myself to be better there.
Coach mentioned you guys obviously were able to course correct after the first quarter when they were able to build up that huge lead early. What went into that course correction for you guys? Was it a conversation at a timeout, or was it just kind of a collective understanding by you all?
Just a collective understanding that we were all going to stick together. Like I said, through 82 games, there's going to be ups and downs. Teams are going to get hot early. Teams are going to build a lead, but just because they get a lead early doesn't mean the game's over. So we got to keep competing and keep playing all the way through the buzzer.
Go ahead, Steve.
Chet, was it a case of just missing shots, or was it something the Kings defense was doing to frustrate you guys?
I feel like it's a combination of both. Coming on the road, we haven't played tons of road games yet, so we still got to find our road legs and be able to make shots on the road. But also credit to them. They had a lot of effort on the defensive end, and they obviously prepared for this game, and it showed they were able to disrupt some things and make some things tough. So next time down, we gotta be prepared for that.
Anybody else? You go ahead. Last one for Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, and Chet, I know you didn't play it all last season. It's well documented, but you got a chance to play against Keegan tonight. Just want you to get your thoughts, to be in the game with him for the first time.
Yeah. Great player. He can knock down the shot and play off the catch, and he had a pretty good game tonight. And overall, great player.
Slugfest. What was it like being out there as the two teams kind of just traded blows like that?
Yeah, it's tough like that with a team that's as offensively talented as them. It's tough to go bucket for bucket. It has to. I thought, 105 points is a very winnable game, but it was just the other end of the floor. We missed a lot of good looks. I thought, myself included, turned the ball over too many times. But I thought for the most part, it's definitely a game we can win. We, fought hard to get back in the game, but I thought rebounding killed us. Sabonis was, it had to be a collective effort to get him off the glass, and I thought he did a really good job for them. And Obviously, a lot of their offenses revolved around him, and they got shooters coming off pin downs and that type of action. I thought we handled a lot of it well, made a lot of their stuff tough, but it's just one of them nights there where you can't make shots, and they make a few more than you do, and they win the game.
It seemed like you guys were able to kind of find those angle cuts at portions of the time in the game, and then sometimes they weren't there. Was there any common threads for when you were getting the types of looks that you wanted and versus when you weren't?
Yeah, I thought when we executed our stuff and we didn't try to rush through plays, we got what we wanted. And, a few of our ATOs were really good. I thought we got layups and easy shots, and we didn't make them all tonight. But, it's encouraging that we're able to get those looks, and they'll start falling for us. So, no one's worried about that end of the floor. I think it's defensive end, rebounding, something we've emphasized, all season, and something we've really got to get better at. And then, we can't leave it up to Chet and Jay Will, these big guys. It's us wings and guards that have to get in there and make their life easy. So, a few things we've got to clean up, but we'll be right. We've got a tough challenge against Phoenix, in a couple of days, and it's going to be another emphasis of defending them and rebounding the ball.
Josh, you mentioned Sabonis, and obviously we talked at length about bigs who can run the glass. I'm just curious what the challenge might have been with him especially.
Yeah, I mean, he's tough because he's very talented. He's got, shooters all around him, which is where he thrives. He's probably the best passing big in the NBA, and Jokic, him and Jokic are probably right there, but their offense is very heavily centered around him, and they're very in sync. Their team, their offense is very free flowing. They know where they're going to get looks, and it's hard to stop him because he's strong and powerful. And when he gets on the block, he can score the ball. So he does it from the passing sense. Also, he can score the ball. So he's a tough cover. And as I said, especially with these, talented bigs, we can't leave Chet on an island, one-on-one. We have to, help, and it has to be a collective effort to stop these type of guys. And I thought tonight we did an okay job of him, scoring-wise. He was able to, get other guys looks, but that's on the rest of us. Now, that's not on, Chet and the bigs. And, with these talented guys, it has to be a group effort, and you can't leave them, one-on-one.
Josh, with the rebounding thing, they had 23 second chance points. I know it's just like a thing that keeps coming up, and you guys can't really change the size guys you are or whatever. What more can the wing guys do? What can you do to help?
Yeah, a lot of it's an effort thing. Typically our guys are on the perimeter that we're guarding, so naturally you're not in the paint to grab rebounds, but we have to just kind of get that installed in us that when a shot goes up, we're checking our guys that they're not going to, then we're going to the glass to get rebounds and help our bigs out. So I thought last year we had the same thing. We were smaller, but I thought we rebounded the ball better, and this year we've obviously struggled with it. But we've watched a lot of film, we've gone over it a lot and kind of really emphasized it. So it'll clean itself up, but it's on us. As I said, it's on our smaller guys and wings and guards to get in there and be physical, make our bigs' life easier, and help them out on that side of the ball.
Josh, just quick question. You guys kind of started off slow in the first quarter, but close of the second, and then third quarter you guys started to pick it up. What was working for you guys in those two stretches?
Yeah, I think we started getting stops. We got out and run, and when we were in transition, our offense was free flowing. We got a lot of good looks. I thought, when we were able to get stops, get the ball off the miss, and when we don't get bogged down in the half court, we've got guys that can handle, make plays in the open floor, and that's when we're at our best. And I thought throughout the end of that second, start of the third, that's what we got, and it allowed us to get back in the game. And then I thought towards the end of the third, start of the fourth, they kind of got the game back in their tempo, and they slowed it down over in the half court a bit, started picking us apart. So we just had to continue to speed the game up, and I thought when we're playing like that, we're a tough team to stay with just because of the abilities of the guys on the floor that we have that can, 1 through 5 make plays and handle the ball. So we're a talented offensive team, but it's going to be the other end of the floor. It's going to, win us games.
Josh, it seemed like in addition to trying to pick up the pace offensively, you, Shea, really leaned into physicality on your drives. You had an and one. Shea had a couple of those. Just how important are those sort of plays when you're trying to generate some offense for you guys?
I mean, very. I mean, getting downhill and putting pressure on the paint and on the defense, and whether that's to score or, they collapse and you kick it out is just a read thing. But being physical is something, as a smaller team and an undersized group, we have to kind of, throw that first punch, so to say. And I thought, There's times where we do it, there's times where we don't, but it has to be a 48-minute thing where we're physical, whether that's, offensively, defensively. It just has to be a consistent thing for us. And, with these bigger, more experienced, stronger teams, if we don't come out that way, a lot of teams are going to push us over. And I think we've got the group to do it. It's just more of a mindset thing that we come out and, want to be physical and want to throw that first punch.
OKC Thunder, Jalen, this was just kind of a slugfest. Both teams turned the ball over quite a bit and really defended. What was it like being out there in this game, with two teams that usually are pretty high scoring?
Yeah, definitely a playoff environment. It's been like that every time we play them for the most part, especially here. I think what kind of hurt us was our first quarter. Just kind of came out flat, didn't hit shots, and I think we kind of let that affect our defense, and it's hard to come back against good teams like that. So, props to them. They played a full game.
You all were at times able to kind of catch that offensive rhythm where you get the cuts and were able to find them on the baseline and the angle and all that. What was consistent? What was happening in those times that you weren't able to kind of string together for the full 48?
Stops. It's really hard to get an offensive flow when then you're constantly taking the ball out because they're scoring or they're getting good looks. So whenever we were kind of able to string together a couple stops, I thought we did a good job of kind of letting that flow our offense. And then when it got choppy, I just think we weren't getting stops on the other end. It's kind of hard to play at the pace we want to play when you're taking the ball out or constantly trying to worry about our defense. So,
Dub, you mentioned the first quarter, offense affecting the defense. I'm curious because it felt like the Sabonis-Herter connection was especially going. What did you see there in terms of defensive execution?
Just messed up some coverages. I wouldn't even say it was them two in particular. It's just a lot of it was us. Game plan, I didn't think we did a good job in our first quarter. But again, Coach talks about getting the car on the road. I think we did a good job, kind of settling in and figuring out what we wanted to do and then force there. But we just gave everybody kind of open looks the first quarter, trying to figure them out, what they were going to do. And then, they just kind of kept the lead from there. But I think overall we were kind of able to settle in. They didn't, put up a ton of points like they usually do. And, we were able to get the car back on the road for the most part.
Yeah, and by the end of that third, you guys clawed back. Lou hits the free throws and the late three. I'm just curious what you saw at the start of that fourth quarter that maybe unraveled things.
I thought we got good looks. I think I got a couple that I missed, and then I think just turnovers. I think a lot of ours ended up being turnovers to touchdowns. They like to play fast, and they got a couple leak outs off of just our offensive mistakes. I think parts of the game hurt us where we couldn't get in the flow offensively, and they ended up making a run off of it. But I think they just kind of got out in transition to start the fourth and kind of pushed it back up to like 13. And then credit to the group that came back in. They cut it down to around like 6 to 8, and then we just kind of clawed back from there.
John, it's not like the rebounding is a new problem, but they got 23 second chance points in a game like this. When they get extra possessions, it's a pretty big swing. What more can you guys do? Obviously, it's something you're working on, but how do you fix it as a smaller team?
Rebound? I don't know. I think just hitting early. Being out there, being small, we obviously know that, so we got to be a little scrappier. I mean, rebounding is very, it's a physical thing, so a lot of that's on us. And then, we play teams that shoot a lot of threes, so, some of it's long rebounds. I think we also like to leak out because obviously we like to play fast, so kind of being able to corral that and understand that we can, rebound and still get out on the break. But we're early in the season, so we're trying to figure it out and see what we can do to obviously help Chet. I think a lot of that is us kind of getting comfortable finally having a big. So, a lot of guys probably, like even myself, kind of get caught just watching. So, trying to figure that out. Something that we'll probably nip in the bud coming up, but just for the most part, hitting.
You mentioned getting stops playing a big role and you guys being able to get back in it. What was the conversation in course correcting the defense overall? Was it, in timeouts or at halftime? What were you guys looking to fix there?
Just trusting what we had, in store for our game plan. I think early we kind of got caught up trying to just score with them the whole time and not really focusing on getting stops to be able to score. So I think that was the biggest thing in our course correction, but just trusting what the coach had in store for us and, they did a good job with the game plan. And once we kind of settled into there, like you guys said, they had a lot of turnovers and, kind of a low-scoring game from two teams that, score a lot. So once we kind of settled into that and just kind of leaned into what we had in store and prepped for, I think we did a good job with that.
Nick Gallo, OKC Thunder. Mark, you said past couple of days you're interested to see how your team would respond on a night when the shots aren't falling. Tonight was certainly one of those nights. What did you think of the way that you guys stuck with it and really tried to double down defensively also?
Yeah, I thought we, in the first quarter, spotted them a pretty good lead on controllable stuff defensively. I thought it took us a long time to get our game plan into the game with the level of urgency that we needed to have it. We course-corrected that, and that's why we were able to put some game pressure on them. Offensively, actually liked how we played early, and then I did think when shots didn't fall, we got a little sticky, especially in the first half. I thought we course-corrected that pretty well in the second half. I think there's a reason we won the second half tonight. But, first quarter defense, first half offense and movement just wasn't where it needed to be. They came out, way more urgent in the game on both ends of the floor, so they deserve that one.
Game had so many stoppages and reviews and timeouts, and what did those? How did you guys try to turn those into opportunities in that second half to try to change mojo or just talk through things?
Just communication. Same thing we do in all the timeouts. Just try to get ourselves on track and focus on the next play.
Mark, I'm curious. You mentioned the first quarter, and it felt like throughout the night, but especially in that first quarter, Sabonis and Herder kind of had that connection going with the DHO. Just what you see there, and I guess what happened there, maybe compared to your game plan in terms of execution.
Yeah, I just thought, we obviously knew the off-ball stuff was going to be a factor. We knew transition would be a factor. And then Sabonis, when things kind of break down for them, they throw to him. He's kind of a security blanket, and you've got to put him in a crowd. And I thought for 3 quarters of the night, in the second quarter on, we did a pretty good job of executing that stuff. The first quarter, it got us off to a really, really slow start and put us in a pretty deep hole, 17-point hole at one point, because we didn't do a good enough job there. So, certainly a lesson that you got to 48 that thing.
Yeah, and obviously you always talk about defending with 5, but Chet specifically, between the screens, the re-screens, the constant, actions, it felt like he caught a lot of that, and Sabonis kind of had his way. I'm curious what you saw from the way Chet defended tonight, and what maybe went wrong or where he struggled.
Yeah, it wasn't all him. I mean, the Sabonis thing's a 5-man defense. I thought one of the things against Jokic that we struggled with was, when he caught the ball after movement, resetting our help and being able to put those guys in a crowd and make it hard on them. Thought we got to that with Sabonis on a lot of plays, but early in the game we didn't. So, again, these are lessons that we have to learn. The team's done a great job of learning the lessons. I think the lesson tonight is, game plan from the jump, and then, offensive identity in the first half.
Mark, what were you looking for with Lindy? You gave him a lot of minutes. What were you trying to find there?
Well, I mean, he was a really critical part of our team last year. Down the stretch, he was playing postseason minutes for us. He earned those, and we really hadn't gone to him very much yet. And so I've been kind of earmarking a game where I thought he'd be good. The scoreboard tends to move in the right direction when he's out there. I didn't think that didn't let us down tonight at all. And just trying to keep the whole team engaged. When there's opportunities for those guys to help the team, we thought tonight was one of those for him.
And then the opening stretch of the fourth, Shea's off the floor, obviously, as he normally is, and they go on a pretty big run there. I think 11-3 to open the fourth quarter. What kind of was going on there?
We had it in a good place. We got it down to 5. Lou hit that shot that kept it at 5, and we were in striking distance with 12 to play. Just didn't get off to the start, obviously, that we wanted to. And I just wanted to give those guys that were in the game, or the guys that were on the bench, a chance to cut back into it. They did, and we were able to put game pressure on them. Which, when you're down, whatever we were, 13, that's all you can ask for at that point in the game.
It seemed like when the offense wasn't rolling, getting downhill, trying to play physical. Saw that from Shea, Josh as well, just trying to generate some looks around the rim. Just what did you think of the way that they approached just trying to generate those sort of looks by seems like attacking physically downhill?
Yeah, I thought we were pretty physical and in attack mode most of the night. I thought the first half, a lot of the problems was just the spray outs from those spots. we were more focused, I thought, on the whistle, than we were on playing the right way in the first half. And another good lesson, the game's not always going to be perfect. It's an imperfect game, and we got to solve problems together, And I thought in the first half tonight, it took us way too long to get to that mentality. When we did, I thought we were pretty good. Second half, I thought both ends of the floor, even though the shooting didn't really come around, we didn't get hot, we still were able to, win the half because we've strung together both ends of the floor.
For all the inefficiency from both sides, you guys still clawed your way back into the game by the end of the third quarter. I'm curious. I think back to the Keon Ellis putback, or the Keegan Murray when he throws it off of Chet, or plays like that. I'm curious what you thought of their effort down the stretch.
Sacramento's?
Yes.
Yeah, they went and got that game. I mean, I thought they outplayed us tonight. From the jump, especially. That was the difference in the game, but. They were the more ready team. They competed harder. I thought they were more together, and that's not to say that we didn't compete hard in parts of the game. And it doesn't mean we weren't together in parts of the game. But like I said, after I think Cleveland, it's about stacking as many of those possessions, and we didn't stack enough from tonight.
It was 23 second chance points, and that's I know going to be a problem sometimes. But were there some plays it looked like where they just beat your guys to balls on a couple of those?
Yeah, for sure. I think in all parts of the game, we try to sift out the stuff that's most controllable, and the rebounding. There's always plays that are controllable. It's going to be something that's going to be a focus for us. As we move forward. If we don't, attack that weakness, then our opponents are going to, and so we've got to look in the mirror on that. But it was one of a couple things that we could have done a lot better tonight. Definitely a lot of lessons in the game.
And this will sound like I'm harping on rotations, but I'm genuinely curious. You waited till 3.5 or so to go back with Chet, Giddey, Jade. I'm just wondering what the thought process was on it.
Yeah, I just think it's healthy sometimes, not always. Sometimes I stay to the script, and then I think it's healthy sometimes that if a group is playing well, you reward that with minutes. And I thought that group came in the game. They were ready to go. They were doing what they were supposed to do on both ends of the floor. The process was good. And I thought, I wanted to run them for a little while, and then I came back with those guys fresh. I think it was 9 at that point. So hard game to win, but obviously we gave ourselves a chance. I think we had the ball down 6 at one point. Sometimes it's just if you're playing well, you get to play more.
It felt like Shea's defense was one of the bright spots tonight, and across the season, it feels like maybe his defense has been swept under the rug between Case and Lou and Chet. I'm just curious what you thought of his development on that end.
Yeah, last year I thought he took a major jump on that end of the floor, and he's continued that this year. Really engaged, knows the schemes, does a really nice job. He gets his length into the game with the shot blocking, shot contesting, deflections. He's really, really good there, and obviously he's a potent offensive player, and the way that he defends really unlocks the types of lineups you can put out there with him because of the matchups he can handle in certain situations. So that's been a huge growth point for him. But we all needed to be a little better tonight on that end.